Hey, this is Stone, and what I want to talk about today could make a huge impact on how much worry and how much stress you have. Now, what I'm getting ready to tell you might take a little bit of convincing, so let me tell you a few stories really quick here. In the Psychological Review, and I believe it was 1956, a guy by the name of, I'm losing his name at the moment, he did this study. He wanted to find out how much information the human brain could take in before it started to become stressed or overwhelmed or just wasn't able to remember the information. Now, this was done in 1956. It was a professor at Princeton University. He ended up getting in the Psychological Review, and many tests have been done over the last 50 plus years to try to disprove this. And it's held very true. So, how many bits of information or how much information can the human brain take in before it starts to get overwhelmed? And this study says that it's 7 plus or minus 2. Okay, so the human brain can take in and remember and recollect roughly 7 pieces of information, 7 groups of information before it starts to feel overwhelmed. Now, why am I telling you this? Well, we go around, most of us, all the time with all of these things in our head that we need to do, whether it's simply get milk or pick up my shoes or get my kid from school or finish this project, whatever it is. We have all these things in our head and we keep going back to them. Even though they're not that important, some of them, we keep going back. And the reason we do that is because once you have more than 7 things in your head, unconsciously your brain does not trust the system, its own system for remembering things. So we keep going back. Let's see, do I have to do this? Do I have to do this? Because it doesn't trust the system. So David Allen has a great quote. He's a time management guru if you don't know him. And he says that the mind is really good for having ideas and really bad for holding them. And I would agree with that when you think about this study. Having said that, let me tell you about something else. My wife and I, we went to the Bahamas on a cruise this summer, and we'd never been on a cruise before. It was great. And I love to do research on something like that before I go. So I did a ton of research, and I realized through the research that the rooms are super tiny that you're in. And you find yourself looking for stuff all over the place because suitcases are thrown everywhere. You can't find anything. You're going all over the room looking for different things. And so this guy, I would take care of this guy if I knew who he was, but somebody had the idea online to take a shoe organizer and put all your stuff in a shoe organizer that's clear that you can see through. Now you can get these at Walmart for $10. So I did this. It was the greatest thing in the world, let me tell you. I don't have to go around and look for everything. I open the closet door, I grab my deodorant, I grab my cologne, I get some lotion if I need to, I grab my hat out of there, I grab my wallet, I put my watch on from there, I get my ring, I get my keys. Everything I need is right there, okay? Now that became a hub. So what's interesting, when we came back home, I didn't go back to doing things the way I did them before. I was using the shoe organizer. And I said, okay, I'm a time management guy. So how much time is this saving me in getting ready? And I found out, rather than having to go to all these different rooms, like the bathroom for my cologne, or the workout room for my shoes, or the bedroom for my wallet, how much time was this saving me getting ready? And it saved me roughly 5 to 6 minutes. So how much time would that save me in a month? What about a year? What about if I live to age 100? How much time would this save me? And you can do the math. Let's say that the average person works an 8-hour workday. Let's just say that's the case and it's a perfect world. It would save you 322 work days in your lifetime by having the shoe organizer, by having the hub, because everything is right there. Now, we all have lots of actions to do from lots of different sources. Some of my sources are voicemail, phone messages, Facebook, text messages, email, voice memos, my calendar, all these different places, LinkedIn, these different places that I get messages from that I have to do something that become actionable, okay? We all have these different places. Now, instead of going out to all these different areas, what if there was a hub, a place that you could go for all of these actions to go to? And this is the part where I start to have a disconnect with people, because they think, why am I going to duplicate an action? Well, the two things I just mentioned to you, number one, the 7 plus or minus 2, if you're having to go out to all these different places, you're really trying to keep a lot of that stuff in your brain and remember where you need to go to get whatever you need to get. The second thing is just like having to go to all the different rooms to get the different stuff that I'm going to use in a day, you're having to go to all these different places and it's not very efficient. So it helps you to worry less and it helps you to be more efficient. So you go to your email and you see that I have to do this task today, I have to do this report, and it's got some information in it. Then you send that information to Evernote. Now, I love Evernote. I'm not affiliated with Evernote in any way, but if you don't already have Evernote, go there right now, evernote.com. I actually have a link in the blueprint at stonejordan.info. If you click blueprints at the top, that has a link to register and download it. And then I also have a link below that that's a video tutorial that shows you how to use it. But Evernote becomes that hub, right? It becomes that shoe organizer, that central location where everything is held. So you'll have to learn Evernote. This isn't a tutorial on that, but you make a notebook that is for personal and a notebook for professional at the very least. And then all these actions that you have to do, so say like for Gmail, you get an action. You type out what you need to do as a note in Evernote, and then you place it in the notebook, whether it's personal or professional. You do that for Gmail, for Facebook, all these different places, and you make actions out of these items, these messages, these incoming messages that are coming to you, and you make them actionable and you put them in Evernote. The next part of this is very important. You zero out your sources. If you were to look at my Gmail or Facebook, you would see in my messages, in my inboxes, they're empty. Unless it's the beginning of the day, by the end of the day, they're empty. Because I zero those sources out, you don't have duplicates. You don't have a bunch of messages floating around. Now, I've had clients that have said, well, it seems like I'm just duplicating stuff when I'm okay going to these different places and getting it. Well, there's another powerful thing we haven't talked about, and that's that it makes it very malleable for you to be able to go to these different places and get the information, bring it into Evernote, and then you can drag and drop it. So you have a notebook that's called Today's Tasks. And once you've brought all these to one place, you say, what are the tasks that I need to do today? You look in your professional notebook, what are the professional tasks I need to do? You drag and drop those actions into the notebook that's Today's Tasks. You do the same thing for personal. Now, very easily at the beginning of your day, you can decide what you need to do today. It's all right there. You don't have to go out to a bunch of different sources, and you don't have to keep it up here, so you don't have to worry. So I hope I've sold you on the idea, and if I haven't, I've done the best job I can do in a very short period of time. I throw a lot at you at a very short time. You'll also want to be able to delete your Facebook messages. You can go to the blueprint. There's a link that explains how to do that because you can't do it without a plugin. And yeah, I just hope this has served you, and I hope I've sold you on the idea. If I haven't, leave a comment in the comments at stonejordan.info. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think it's a good idea, it's a bad idea. But either way, I hope you have a purposeful and productive week this week, and just go get them. Thank you so much, and we'll talk to you soon.